Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time you're watching this. My name is Chris Elliott with RE/MAX Action Real Estate, giving you another COVID-19 kind of mini-series, we're calling this. I've got my personal accountant, good friend, Mr. Chris Smith. Chris, how you doing today?
Good.
Good. You've been a little busy the last couple of days or last couple of weeks with everything going on.
Yeah, this has been a unique tax season.
Yeah. That's a light way to say it.
Yeah.
So Chris is a part owner, operator of RBI Services here locally in Ashland, correct?
Correct.
Correct. Chris, can you tell real quick before we get into subject matter of the day what RBI is and what you guys do while the world isn't melting around us?
Yep, it's the B in RBI stands for business services. So we do accounting, payroll, tax prep, tax planning, and some HR services. And then the I is for insurance. We do property and casualty along with health insurance and some short-term disability. So basically we try to take all the headaches away from small business owners and advise them on the stuff that they didn't get into business to do.
Yeah, amen to that. So what we're going to try to unpack today, and Chris, I've been doing this a lot lately on these videos, is we are going to timestamp this. So to the best of our knowledge, this information is relevant and current 4:17 p.m. on Tuesday, March the 31st, which could change like an hour from now. But
unfortunately.
Yeah. So the federal government passed a $2.2 million, I believe, or $2.2 million.
Yep, there's been actually two legislations passed. One was on March 15th from the House, Families First Coronavirus, something it's called, and then the big stimulus package from the Senate called the CARES Act. And those each did some different things. So there's really, what I'm telling small businesses is there's three important pieces to all this. The first piece is, if you have an employee that either gets sick, has a family member get sick, or has a child that is displaced because schools across the country are closed right now, even if you have one employee or 500 employees, you are required by federal law now to offer sick time, 2 weeks worth of sick pay, to those employees. Now, the good thing for employers is that they do get a tax credit for the FICA or Social Security portion of payroll taxes. So work with your local payroll company to take care of that. But that's the first piece. We are required to offer sick pay now.
By law?
By law.
Okay.
The second piece is the economic disaster loans from the Small Business Administration. I believe at this point, every state in the country has been deemed an economic disaster, including the territories from COVID. So there is now a small business website set up to help you get a $10,000 loan. That $10,000 loan has deferred payments until at least the end of the year and is at a very reasonable insurance or very reasonable interest rate.
I think it's 4%. I saw
around 2.5% to 4%, and payable over 10 years.
Yeah.
So that quick $10,000 influx of cash. The website has had its issues and has been down, but they've done a new streamlined website that has been actually very good. It's 3 pages of questions and takes about 5 to 10 minutes to fill out. Have done about 12 to 15 applications since yesterday when they got released around noon.
Yeah.
So it's working very well. That money is supposed to be in your bank account within a few days. Don't know if that's happened yet because it just came online, but we'll see later this week.
Now, Chris, and I think next we're going to get into and really expand on the Paycheck Protection Program. But just to clarify, because there's been a lot of talk and the world's spinning pretty fast right now. But the $10,000 disaster loan, and this show is geared towards small business owners. I've got a lot of friends. I know you've got a lot of clients, a lot of peers out there. So is that $10,000 loan forgivable
That one is not. That one do have to pay back.
Yeah, so that's not free money. That's a loan in the truest sense of they expect repayment.
Yes, you will have a loan with the federal government.
Yeah. Okay. And man, they're great people to be in business with. Political statements.
Yeah, they run out of money. They just go down the street a little bit and print some more.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So let's jump into the third piece of this, the Paycheck Protection Program. And from what I understand, this is like the big one for
this one is about $350 billion for the country.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one is some highlights of it. Big highlight is as long as you follow certain rules, this one is forgivable. The principal is forgivable. You still have to pay a little interest, but the principal of the loan is forgivable as long as you follow the SBA rules.
Yeah.
It's going to take your last year's payroll plus your health insurance payments, any interest, and you can apply for a loan that is 2.5 times your monthly average. So again, you basically will have 2.5 months of working capital, payroll capital, infused into your company. The important piece of this loan is to get it forgiven is the 8 weeks after you get your money. During those 8 weeks, you have to keep your FTE count, which is full-time equivalents. So you have to keep your full-time equivalent FTE count at the same level as you had during January to February of this year or February to June of 2019. Most companies will fall into, let me get the exact dates, most companies will fall into that 2019 date. And it is from 2/15 of 2019 to 6/30 of 2019. Your average number of FTEs during that period and your average number of FTEs in the 8 weeks following the loan have to remain the same. Otherwise, you would have to repay a portion of it. But if they remain the same, you can apply for forgiveness. If you have to fire someone or let someone go and your FTE count drops, you can still ask for forgiveness for a proportionate amount of the loan. So maybe you got $40,000 in a loan, you had to let someone go, you can still ask for forgiveness of 35, for example.
Okay.
You can also only use that money for payroll and payroll-related costs, and that includes commissions, that includes payroll taxes.
Mm-hmm.
You can use it for rent, and you can use it for utilities and health insurance. There's also a few interest items that you can use it for, but those are the 4 big items. The nice thing about this loan is they've also made it available to self-employed. So in your world, Chris, where a lot of realtors are set up just as single-person shops, they're one-man, one-woman shops, they too can apply for this loan using their 2019 tax return.
Assuming they've done it.
Assuming they've done it.
Yeah.
Or if they have good company records, the bank may take that. The key here is this loan is going to be administered through your local banks.
Yeah.
So your community banks, your Wells Fargo, Bank of America's, Chase's, the big banks that are nationwide, this plan is going to be administered through the banks, and that money should start flowing out from the federal government sometime next week, is what we're being told.
Okay. So, we talked about it before this call. So that, as far as going to apply for those loans and starting the process, that's probably going to be next week, is what we're hearing.
I would go ahead and have a preliminary chat with your banker to find out what you're going to need, and therefore you can start getting those documents together, because nothing with the federal government comes without paperwork.
Sure.
Start getting those documents together so that you and your banker are prepared to have a real conversation and get the action going on these loans.
So they should, and I'm assuming a lot of these banks will probably come out with some type of online portal, but for now, not a bad idea to call your.
Yeah, do the old-fashioned way and call your banker.
Yeah.
Hopefully you have a relationship with someone at your bank. If you don't, you might want to switch banks. But call and talk to an actual banker. Not really probably call, because I don't know about wherever everybody is, but our banks right here in this area are drive-through only. But shoot them an email, whatever. Get in touch with them, Facebook them, whatever you want to do. But get in touch with your banker and find out what the process is going to be for their bank.
Yeah. Okay. We talked about that. Is there anything else people should know? Any do's or don'ts? Anything where you see there's confusion or people are maybe
confusion with the government? Yeah, never. No, make sure you find out what the rules are going to be from your bank on these loans, and make sure you follow them to the T, because like anything else, this is a loan with a government agency. You will be expected to abide by certain rules, and if you don't abide by those rules, you will pay the penalty for it.
Yeah. This is not something you want to get sloppy with.
No.
From what it sounds like. So, and if somebody,
the big thing is self-employed people can apply for this. You don't have to have payroll in place for your company. Even if you're self-employed doing whatever, go ahead and try to get this loan. My personal beliefs aside, this is going to be in the quintessential essence of the words. This is going to be free money to you. You're going to have to pay back some interest, but the principal amount of these loans is going to be free money. There's no reason not to take it.
Yeah. And we were talking before we hit the record button. I'm not a big fan either of money being doled out by the federal government. We're all going to pay for it in the form of inflation, though. So it truly is free money. So you might as well get yours.
Get your share of the pie.
Yeah.
The other thing that everybody is looking at is the stimulus checks. So your stimulus checks, if you're going to be eligible, will start flowing out at some point shortly. There's still no update as to an exact date.
Yeah.
They're going to be based upon if you filed 2019 taxes by about last week. They'll be based on your 2019 taxes. If you have not filed 2019, then it'll be based upon your 2018 taxes or your Social Security payments.
Okay. And is that something folks need to do anything, or is those just
that is as long as you have filed at least 2018's taxes, you will receive your check. It may come in the mail, it may be direct deposit. That part still is unclear and uncertain, but no, you don't have to call anybody, you don't have to go online for anything. That money will just show up once the U.S. Treasury figures out how to dole it out.
Yeah. Okay. Super cool. Well, Chris, before we just kind of wrap up here, I know you're dealing with a lot of self-employed clientele, and that's kind of your client base. And I know, a lot of our friends and peers are in a rough spot right now. What are some things that maybe some advice that you're giving small business owners? What are some things that they should be doing or thinking about given, the times we're going through? What advice are you giving to folks?
Mainly keep track of every dollar. Make sure you know where all your money is and use it wisely, because a few weeks ago we all thought this would be done by mid-April, and now it looks like this will be done hopefully sometime in May, and we can get back to normal. But these are uncertain times. But at the end of the day, every night that we put our head down on the pillow, we're one day closer to this being done.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, certainly look forward to getting on the other side of this deal.
Yeah.
So anyway, Chris, I appreciate your time. I appreciate the information you've given us. If somebody wants to get in touch with you, whether they need, small business services, insurance, tax preparation, accounting work, where can they get a hold of you?
Easiest way is to give us a call, 804-677-9516. Or our website is R as in Robert, B as in boy, I as in igloo, S as in Sam, V as in Victor, C as in Charlie, S as in Sam.com.
Beautiful. Awesome. And I'll get our marketing guy to superimpose that. Chris, once again, thank you for your time, my friend. I appreciate the information. And guys, if you're in need of his services, definitely reach out to Chris. And we will see you on the next video, my friend.
Have a good one, Chris. Thank you.
See ya.